Welcome to your 20-minute Core Strong Sampler class. So in this class, we move slow, controlled, connect all the movements with breath, and try to really connect with that deep core system as we challenge our body in different ways. So if at any point in this workout you feel any pain or discomfort through any part of your body, I want you to change up the movement so that you aren't feeling that. And if you are not sure how to change up the movement, please send me a message and let me know. Core Strong is a wonderful workout for anyone who is pregnant, anybody who is newly postpartum, past that 6-week postpartum period, and already is connecting with their deep core system and knows that that connection is established. It's also really great for anybody who could just use a little bit more core strength, or who even just needs a gentler form of movement on whatever day they are choosing to do this style of workout. So this class runs live Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's normally a half an hour long. We spend some time connecting with the pelvic floor, moving with our breath, connecting with our glutes, and then relaxing everything at the end. So this is just a shortened version. You're going to need a mini band for equipment. If you don't have a mini band, then you can use a long band just tied into a loop. You could also use a set of nylons tied into a loop, or you can use body weight or even sub out some lighter weights for some of these movements. So we're going to start out on the floor. I'm going to get some music going here. So start out in a seated position. Okay. So we'll go seated. You can untuck those toes, sit your glutes down onto those heels. Feel free to close down your eyes if that would feel comfortable, or you can start to focus your gaze just on one spot. Maybe give those shoulders a couple rolls, and then just gently start to soften those shoulders down away from your ears, and start to feel your breath coming into your ribs and into your belly. And as you exhale, you imagine that your anus is a flower, and we start to draw the petals together and lift the flower in. Inhale, the flower lowers down and opens up. Exhale, flower comes together, and you find that lift. So we always use some sort of cue in this class. If you have a different cue that resonates with you for connecting with your pelvic floor, then please feel free to imagine that instead. Just starting to find that gentle lift on the exhale, gentle lift, like a 2 out of 10 here. And that softness on the inhale. Last one. Begin to tuck your toes under so that your heels are elevated. As you inhale, you're going to start to prepare. Exhale, start to lift those hips up over top of your knees. Create a big circle with those arms. Inhale, slowly come back down. Hands come in front, palms face away from you. Exhale to lift up. And inhale to lower back down. Controlling the movement through that entire range of motion. Perfect. So if anytime you feel like you have lost that connection with your breath, you can always push pause and come back to it, or even take a couple minutes or a couple breaths back in that seated position. And as we come up here, we're just trying to stack ribs, hips, and knees. Last one. We're going to come up to standing after this one. Good. Stand on up. Take those feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. If you need a little bit more space, you can turn those toes out. We're going to inhale down into a squat. Reach those fingertips down towards the floor. Exhale, reach up. Take your right hand, make a big circle. Find that gentle twist. Inhale, come back through center, reach towards the floor. Exhale, left hand makes that big circle all the way back around. Gaze can follow your fingertips. So you're sitting back into that chair. Now, depth of that squat is totally up to you. So if coming all the way down into that squat doesn't feel good in your body, maybe you're further along in your pregnancy and that range of motion just isn't accessible anymore, or maybe you're newly postpartum and you're working on strengthening through that range of motion, you take that a little bit narrow or a little bit not as deep. You could even sit back so that you have a bench behind you and maybe tap your glutes onto that bench. Perfect. Let's go one more each side here. Inhale to soften. Exhale to strengthen. Good. Last one. Perfect. That, team, is our warm-up. So come on down to the floor. We have 3 moves. They're single-sided. So we're gonna go about 45 seconds each move. On one side, we'll do the other side, and we'll go through that twice, and that is your workout. So start out in tall kneeling. You can tuck the toes under, but we want our knees underneath our hips. Take your right leg straight out to the side, but you're gonna turn it so that the toes are pointed up towards the ceiling. Try not to lock out your knee. Keep a soft bend in your knee. Place the mini band around your foot. All right, now stand up nice and tall, or come into your tall position here. We're gonna inhale to allow that mini band to get closer together or shorten, and exhale to lengthen it. Join me here. Inhale, we bend through that right side, and exhale, we pull back up. So we're really trying to find that lift. 2 movements through that pelvic floor, right? It comes together and it finds that lift. And that start of that exhale initiates our movement, or starts the movement. So we start the exhale, and then we find the additional or the rest of the movement that we're working on. So like you said, soft bend in that knee here. Range of motion doesn't matter. Control matters. 3, 2, and 1. Remove that mini band from your feet. Grab onto it with your hands. So I like to put my thumbs inside of it. Tuck your toes under. Sit all the way down onto those heels. Palms are going to face towards your body. As you exhale, you come up into that seat, tall kneeling position. Wrists come in line with shoulders. We're going to draw the right elbow back. Inhale back down, and exhale to lift. Join me here. We're going to stick on this right side for this whole, all 3 moves, and then we'll get the left side next. So as you come up into this tall kneeling position, we want to feel strong and supported through that whole body. So we want to make sure that shoulders, ribs, hips are in line, and we're not coming too far by squeezing our bum and shooting our hips forward. Great. We just need to use the amount of work necessary for the task at hand. Good. And then resist that band on both directions. So you're pulling it back nice and strong. Draw that elbow back. Inhale, resist it on the way back. Good. 3, 2, last one. And you're done that move. You're gonna take the mini band and place it around both feet. All right, once you've got it around both feet, you're gonna come into a tabletop position. So you're gonna keep your toes flexed so that your toes are pointing towards the floor. Lift up through those hips so that your hip bones are pointing towards your ribs and your shoulders. Pull your shoulders into their socket. Exhale, push that right leg straight back. Inhale, control that movement back in, and exhale. So you're strong through that upper body, maybe outer rotating those elbow creases so they're pointing away. Hips stay level as you push that foot back. If you'd like a little bit more, you can take your left hand, reach it forward, finding a modified bird dog here. You could even hover your left hand. So we're staying stable through that center body as we push that foot back. Not letting that right hip pop up. 3, 2, and 1. You can keep that mini band on your left foot. We're gonna do those same 3 moves on the other side. So tall kneeling again. If this is uncomfortable on that right knee, you can fold up that mat a couple times. All right, point the toes towards the ceiling or even forward a little bit. Slight bend in the knee. Inhale to hinge over to the side. And exhale to pull up. So even though we're coming over onto the side, we still want to find length. So imagine someone is pulling a string or a rope out of the top of your head, and you're finding space through each and every vertebrae. And then we just stack right back where we came. You feel those inner thighs right away. Perfect. Now, if you wanted to make this a little bit more intense, you could hold a dumbbell in that right hand. So it depends on where you are at in your journey. I tried to make this class for sure connecting with that deep core. But sometimes we've already put in that foundational work and we need that extra little challenge. So there's always options for you to find your version of the movement that is serving you. And each day it can change. Each time that we come through these movements, it can change, and that is okay. Perfect. One more here. Take that mini band off your foot. Grab onto it. All right, hands come down towards your knees. Now, if you want a little bit more, you can even create a little bit of tension in that band as you lift up. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, come up. Pull that left elbow back. And inhale, back down. So you're trying to keep your wrists in line with the shoulders. Shoulders pulled into their sockets. Lots going on here. And you can feel that deep core have to stabilize through, or stabilize for you as we pull, right? If you notice that you're really opening up, try to control that movement. Keep the shoulders squared. So the right hand is resisting that band. The left hand is working as it's moving. The glutes are stabilizing. That transverse abdominis, that innermost corset layer is definitely fired up. Pelvic floor working, whole body here, right? My favorite is when you have moves that look so simple, and then when you get into them and you start moving slow and controlled and you take movement or momentum out of the equation, they become a lot harder. Perfect. Last one. Nicely done. Place that mini band around your feet. We're coming onto the other side of that kickback with the option to add the reach on the right hand. So tuck your toes under. You can always do this one without the mini band too. When you're ready, inhale, let that belly fall. Exhale to lift and engage. Push the heel back. So you're hovering those toes. And then inhale back down. Now, if you find that stretching that mini band is too much for where you're at in your journey, take the mini band out of this. Maybe drag your toe along the floor instead versus hovering that foot, right? Still working the glutes, still working the core. And probably getting more out of it when you choose a version that works for you. Option to add that reach is always there for you. Reset on that inhale. So important that we take time for both. 2 and 1. All right, there are 2 moves. We're gonna go back through those one more time. So keep the band on that right foot. Set yourself up. Start to hinge. Coming over top of a ball and then pulling back up. Nice. So the slower you go, the harder these movements become. So you are always in control of the tempo. You're always in control of the amount of rest that you're taking. You're always in control of the amount of reps that you're doing. One of the beauties of, or the beautiful things of catching recordings of workouts is you have that ability to push pause. And there's never any judgment for what you need or for doing what you need on that day. Perfect. Let's take 2 more reps here. Remember that soft bend in the knee. Last one. Nice work. Take that band off. Try not to snap it there. Grab onto it into your seated glute bridge, pull it up, right arm pulls back. If you're starting to feel this into your neck, you could use dumbbells for this, where you would lift up and pull back. Or you can use a lighter resistance band, so we don't want to be feeling it up in through here. Definitely on the shoulders and on that back as we draw the elbow back. Nice, 2 more here. And as things get harder, our tendency is to often speed up, right? Go faster. I'm gonna challenge you here on these last couple reps to make them even slower. And notice how good those feel when you control that movement even more. Perfect, put the mini band around your feet. All right. Place those wrists underneath the shoulders. Set yourself up into that strong tabletop position, and then once you've found that, you find your version of the kickback. Maybe it's with the left hand hovering. So that might look like this. Reach back, hand hovers, right? Or maybe you're dragging that toe, keeping it planted so you have a little bit more support. And maybe it's a combination of them today. But if we had a bucket of cold water on your back, we wouldn't be spilling a drop here, no matter what version you're doing. That's the key to this movement, to really engaging through that deep core, is finding that stabilization and keeping the hips lifted. Oftentimes we want to sink through that back, but if you can think about drawing your hip bones together, it helps to engage through that transverse abdominis. Nice. Last one. Release that, keep the band on your left foot. Let's go into the other side. So 3 moves left here. Ready? Let's go. Bend towards that band and then pull it away. So again, this shoulder is down and away from your ears and engaged, right? It's one thing to go all loosey-goosey as we move through these, but again, that intention can come as we're moving, or it can even come just when we're set up, right? Set yourself up, feel that strength in through that shoulder, in through that side, and then continue with that strength that you found as you move through each and every rep. Perfect. 2 more reps. Inhale, release. Exhale, lift, and back up. Good. Mini bend comes off that foot. Grab onto it with those thumbs. Coming on down, up. Left elbow draws back. Find that reset. Remember that breath guides you through these movements. Something almost meditative about these types of classes. Or you can just shut your brain off. Allow those breaths to flow in and out of you as you move from rep to rep. Good. 2 more. Then we have 1 more move, a quick stretch. And your workout is done for the day. If you really enjoyed these movements, you can also rewind and go back through them again. All right, take that mini band, put it onto your feet, right? Maybe you need a 3rd set to finish things off. Once you have that mini band onto your feet, set yourself up, find that tabletop. So not a cat, not a cow, a table. Ready, and go. Right leg, reach back. So you're actively pushing your toes towards the floor and extending that heel, lifting the hamstring up. Maybe lifting your kneecap towards your heart. Place your knee back down on that inhale, and then go again. Right hand can reach on that exhale. And maybe here you try to find length from your fingertips to your heels. How long and tall can you get? And maybe you hold it there for a breath. 2. Finish up this one. And you're done. Perfect. Mini band can come off. We've got a quick stretch here. Just a couple of minutes. At the end of every class, we like to take time to give your pelvic floor a chance to relax, which I don't think very many of us do as much as we should. So first, we're going to come into a little bit of mobility. Place your wrists underneath your shoulders. Place your right hand behind your head. Inhale to open up towards the ceiling. And exhale. Bring that right elbow towards the inside of the crease of that left elbow. Inhale, create space, open up through that chest. And the gaze can follow. You can also reach that hand long if you would like. And then maybe reach it under. Perfect. Right hand comes down onto the floor right underneath your shoulder. Left hand comes behind the head. Inhale, open up. And exhale, find that twist across or that closing of the chest. Inhale, allow that breath to find more openness. And exhale. 2. Good, that option to reach that hand if you want to get a little bit deeper into this. And 1, perfect. Take those knees wider than mat width or wider than hip width. Toes come to touch. Send your hips back down towards that little basket you've created, and then walk those hands forward, resting your forehead onto the floor, or stacked forearms, stacked fists, a pillow if you'd like. We're gonna hang out here for about 30 seconds, just relaxing into this position. So if you're feeling any tension anywhere, see if you can adjust your position so that you're able to really soften into this. And really imagine that flower in your anus. And as you breathe, the flower blooms even more. You just let that belly fall. And let your body get a little bit heavier with every breath. Okay, take one more breath there. And then you can stay in that position as long as you would like, or you can come on up to a seated position. And that is your 20-minute sampler of Core Strong. So again, Core Strong is every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Or if you have an unlimited membership, you have the ability to access the replays of every Core Strong class that we have done so far. It's a wonderful class to get a little bit of movement in, strengthen that deep core, maybe a little bit of mobility, and also take some time to relax through that whole body. If you have any questions, please let me know. All of the classes, live options, pre-recorded options, lots going on. I hope to get the opportunity to sweat with you all soon.